Peking opera is a form of Chinese opera that originated in the late 18th century. In Peking opera, speech, mime, singing, and acrobatics are performed to instrumental accompaniments. There are two main styles of Peking opera. They are civil plays and martial plays. Civil plays target emotions and relationships between characters, while martial plays are centered around action and include more acrobatics. The four most common roles seen in Peking opera are Cheng, Dan, Jing, and Qiu. The Cheng is the primary role, usually the lead. The Dan is the type that includes roles for women. The Jing is a painted-face male role, usually of a forceful personality. The Qiu usually plays secondary roles. Shang Yanqiu is widely known for being one of the four great Dan actors in Peking opera. He was born in Beijing on January 1, 1904. His family lived in the Plain Yellow Banner, one of the most powerful military forces, until the passing of his father when he was 3 years old. When Yanqiu turned 6, a neighbor who was big in the opera scene encouraged young Cheng to learn the art of theater because of his good looks. This way, he could support his family, who had been struggling financially since the loss of his father. Therefore, he began his career at the age of 6. The first role he began to learn was wushang, which is a martial role. He quickly moved on to mastering huadan, a role of a young woman with a frank and open personality. One of his first teachers was Shen Tongyun. However, his most notable mentor was Mei Langfang. Shang's first big performance was at 11 years old, and within a year he had already starred in shows such as The General's Son to be Executed, A Child Left in the Mulberry Garden, and The Pavilion of Royal Monument. This is when his career in Peking opera truly took off. Cheng was very gifted and also wrote his own operas. He was inspired by the progressive period of the Republic and wrote about issues such as nationalism, women's emancipation, naturalism, and the vernacular language which came about from the May 4th movement. Some of his most notable operas included The Blue Frost Sword, An Emerald Hairpin, Lady May, and The Dream of the Young Lady. He had a very unique and distinct sound to his voice, which made him stand out among other performers. His voice was known to be firm, yet gentle, soft and pleasing to the ear. Cheng always touched the audience's emotions. In every character he wrote about or played, he always paid extra attention to expressing a character's feelings and emotions. Before taking on a role, Cheng always gained knowledge and understanding of the play and the character. When he performed in Blue Frost Sword, he learned exactly how the heroine was exploited and destroyed by another character. Cheng quotes, "I learned why Shen's life had become so miserable and depressing, and why she was determined to take revenge, and what a brave woman she was. Only when I had understood Shen's personality thoroughly would I be able to act on the stage and to present a convincing Shen to the audience." Cheng always used a metaphor, whether he was performing or teaching students. The word frame described his entire art form. A frame has no boundaries, but it provides a space within its four sides. This means the actor should follow the conventions, but should feel free to move their own way. Through this metaphor, he created his own style through decades of experimentation. He learned a lot from others, but was always full of his own original interpretations and had incredible creativity. He had written many books about ways to improve Peking opera, including steps about how to incorporate water sleeves into performance. Water sleeves could emphasize moods, and this along with strong facial expressions truly made Peking opera a much more expressive performance. Cheng emphasized how important the whip was in his books. The whip is versatile and represents not only the actor riding a horse, but also the color, movements, speed, and level of fatigue. In later years, he was tortured by the Japanese because of his interpretations of the War of Resistance against Japan in his works. He left the Peking opera scene, became a farmer in Beijing, and married a woman named Wang Minghua. However, he couldn't stay away for long, this time going back strictly as a mentor. In the 1930s, he became president of the Beijing branch of Nanjing Conservatory of Traditional Opera Music and president of Zhanghua Traditional Opera Training School. He had many accomplishments in his life, but two of his most proud accomplishments were founding the People's Republic of China and becoming the vice president of the Chinese Academy of Traditional Opera. Cheng Yanqiu passed away in Beijing on March 9, 1958 from a heart attack, but his legacy lives on today through his work he did in Peking opera.